In this invitational mini tournament kickoff meeting, I'm going to share what to expect, give you some tips on Mahjong time game settings, and also tips on how to keep a healthy mindset. Welcome everybody to the kickoff for the invitational mini tournament that is going to be held next Saturday. And just for a raise of hands, if you will, how many of you have played in a tournament? Okay, so at the moment, about half.
Right.
Let's see now, this presentation I'm going to show is specifically for this mini tournament coming up, just so you know what to expect. For future reference, on February 1st, I'm going to do a special live stream called How to Thrive in a Mini Turn, or How to Thrive in Competitive Play. So I'm going to give you tips and tricks, well, not tricks, but tips on how to prepare for a competitive event, how to play in the game to optimize your winning potential, and then also how to keep a healthy mindset both at the event and between events. So save the date for February 1st, I believe is what it is. If you are available, this will be recorded so you can watch the repost as well. So that is scheduled for February 1st. And I believe it is going to be it's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So it'll be a nighttime event. Let's see. I have that event on my Facebook page. So you can see that as we go. If you visit my Facebook page, you'll see that event. So I hope that if you enjoy this competition that's coming up next week, you'll continue competing, because it is a different game. When people play socially, it's a little more relaxed, but when you're in a competitive setting, players are more serious and the game is played at a deeper level. People play more defensively. For example, breaking up your hand early so as not to discard the winning tile if you happen to pick up a tile that may be risky based on what you see going on at the table. So that's just a little bit of an example. And if we have time and if there is interest, I'd be happy to share some tips and tricks, or tips. There's no tricks. You got to do the work. So no tricks, but there's tips. So let me share my screen. And then as we go, if you have questions, feel free to just say, I got a question. If I noticed a hand, you can use the hand feature in chat, I believe is where you see that. Let's see, where's the hand feature? There should be a hand feature, or is it, where do you see raise my hand?
It's under React.
It's under React. I just see a heart. Okay, so you click React, which is a heart icon, and you can give a hands up, and hopefully I'll see that. If I don't see it, unmute and say, I have a question, and then we'll pause. I'm hoping this will be interactive, because the goal here is to help you feel more comfortable in this event next week so that you'll want to do more. Let me share my screen and we'll get started. And thank you again for being here. Let me make sure I have it on presenter mode. So one moment. Okay, here we go. Do you see the title screen?
Yes.
Mini tournament. Okay. So I want to share with this quote here. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. That's from Seneca, a Roman philosopher. So it's age old. And when it comes to luck in the game, there's always going to be an element of luck. And where that comes from is the deal. So when you get your dealt hand, and then also the wall, when you pick from the wall. Everything else in the game is skill. It depends on what you do with the tiles you have and the decisions you make as the game unfolds. So situational awareness, social acuity is going to come in for you to be able to analyze that intel and make good decisions as you develop your hand. So when you play socially, usually you're hanging out, having a good time, maybe even imbibing. But in a competitive setting, people are more serious, more focused on the game and more focused on defense. There's still that element of luck, but you can use skills to optimize your potential to win. And if we have time, we can talk a little more about that at the end. I want to talk more about logistics and what to expect. And then again, if we have time, we can go more into the game itself. The first thing that I want to share is when the day comes, you want to log in early. That's my title here, but I want to show you first the website, because on the website, there's a section on there of what to expect. So let me just go there. So can you see my website here? Yep. Okay. And if you go to Let's Play live stream, scroll down to Beat the Pro.
I'm only getting the slide.
The slide still.
The
Okay.
slide is showing your website.
I always have to stop and then reshare. It's not dynamic. Let's see here. Now here it is. Okay. So let me go back. Do you see my website now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So we're going to go to events, and there are a couple ways to get to this page, but I'm going to go to competitions because this is really where the what to expect is. If you click on learn more under invitational, you'll come to the invitational page with details and then buttons to take you further into each one of those. But at the bottom, you'll see prerequisites, which is since you're all in the winner circle already, you've got Mahjong Time installed. It's ideal to play on Epoch, their full featured application on a desktop or laptop, but you can play on a mobile device. I don't recommend it though, because there is a bug in the mobile app. So has everyone played on the mobile app yet?
Yes.
No? Yes? Okay.
I tried. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Very
it is.
difficult.
The tiles are hard to see, and there's a bug in the Charleston, and it could impact your hand. So I highly recommend playing on a laptop or desktop. Underneath that is what to expect. So when you go to the Mahjong Time on the day of the event, you're going to log in and you'll be prompted to enter the tournament. This is going to be a 3-round event, and you will be playing 4 games in 50 minutes with a 10-minute break in between each one. After the event, we're going to do a live stream if you like. I know it's going to be a long day, so if you have the energy, feel free to join us, or you can watch the repost. And anyone in the winner circle of the invitational will be receiving an email with next steps, because you're going to get an award. After the event, we'll meet in a live stream. I'll have a link for that for you. You'll want to be there so that we can just look at the results together and I can announce the winners. We're also going to do some door prizes, and you do not need to be present to win. So the door prizes will be just based on your email from registration. I do say here that you'll get an email if you're in the winner circle, and you'll also be set up to access this page. This page has the winner circle merch, which is bragging rights. You can purchase a t-shirt if you like to show off your participation in the game. And then you can also register for the biennial rumble, because any player in the winner circle of an invitational for 2 seasons, so this is season 1, you'll be eligible to register for the biennial rumble in November, this coming November. Season 2 is underway for Beat the Pro, which is the entry point to these invitationals. And for the season 2 invitational, the winner circle members there will also be participating prayerfully in that rumble. So that is what you can expect from the MAHJLIFE side. I'm going to go back to the presentation so I can show you some screenshots that you might find helpful at Mahjong time. So,
Michelle,
yeah.
where will the wrap up be? Where you announce the winners and all that? Is that going to be on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where will, and you said you would be prompted to go into the game. Is that once you sign into Mahjong time?
Yes.
That will prompt you?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I haven't done a competition at Mahjong time in a while, so someone will need to confirm. But Kathleen, you've played in competitions at Mahjong time, right?
I have played in guild competitions, but not in a tournament. So
Okay.
I don't know exactly how that works in terms of them putting you in a table or not.
Okay. Well,
But they have done it so many times. I'm sure if you're using their system, it'll be natural once you're in there.
yeah. And I have some screenshots. I don't have a screenshot of what happens right when you log in, but let me show you what I have, and then we'll just do the best we can. And I'm going to be available if anyone has any trouble. Feel free to send me an email or contact me through Facebook, whatever is convenient for you, and I'll do my best to help. And also, you might want to write down support@mahjongtime.com, because I'm sure they will also be available to help if you have any trouble. So I'm going to share my screen again. All right, so oh, let me make sure you can see this now. Do you see Watch the Tour?
Yes.
Okay, this is the QR code I was talking about. In Nitty Gritty Let's Play live streams on Mondays, one of the episodes is a Mahjong Time tour. If you are new to Mahjong Time, I highly recommend that you watch this video, because I walk through some of the quirks to playing at Mahjong time. It is a very robust platform because it serves 5 versions of the game. It is going to have a bit of a learning curve to play there, but it's well worth the effort. If you watch this video, it will shorten your learning curve playing at Mahjong time. So either watch the repost and click that QR code, or you could also go to my YouTube channel and search for Nitty Gritty Mahjong Time Tour, and that'll get you to the video as well. It's also on the Matrix. If you're familiar with my wiki, there's a wiki article on the Nitty Gritty live streams. It's called American Mahjong Skills and Strategies Matrix, and there's links to all videos on skills and strategies that I cover on Mondays, the Nitty Gritty Let's Play live streams. So this I highly recommend. The other thing that I recommend is that you set up your game setting preferences so that when you're playing the game, the functions help you with the game and not deter you or hurt you. For example, one of the default settings is auto sort on the tiles, so you can't move the tiles around. Also, there's another default setting where you click on a tile and it will discard it. So on your turn, if you click a tile to move it and it is on your turn, right at the beginning of your turn, it'll think you want to discard that, and you could end up discarding your needed tile. So these are the settings that I play by. You might want to screenshot that or watch the repost and pause the video here so that you can check these out and test the game settings so that when you play, you're comfortable with the game functionality. I usually do safe discard help, which will, when you hover your tile over, or you hover your tile over a tile in your hand, it'll lift the tiles on the table so you can clearly see how many of those tiles have been discarded. Also, highlight active discards. When someone discards a tile, you'll see that swirl. Enable winner hand animation. That's just something fancy at the end. It turns the table. That is really has no function or help. It's just visually appealing to some people. Double click on a discard or double click on a tile to discard. That one I highly recommend. And that way, if you're moving tiles around on your turn, the game is not going to think you're going to discard. So check that out. Dynamic action menu. I don't remember what that one is, but I have it selected. Show tile tooltip. That one is where you hover your mouse over a tile and it will tell you how many of those tiles have been discarded. So I find that very helpful. And incidentally, if we have time, we can go into Mahjong time and I can show you these things. Enable animated hands. I personally don't like the hands, so I've, since this screenshot, deactivated that. And also I don't use hotkeys. So consider looking at your game settings, test them out so that when you play, you enjoy the experience, and you'll be able to modify that if you go to the game settings, which you can access. I'll show you at the end how to access this. There's a little cog in the upper right corner when you're on Mahjong time, and that's how you open this, but I can show you in a little bit. Any
Michelle,
questions? Yeah.
is there a way to change how the jokers appear when somebody makes an exposure? I have trouble. I can't see the numbers on the tiles, and I play on a laptop with a 15-inch screen, so it ought to be easier. But especially if the player across from me, which shows up at the top of the screen,
Yeah.
I can't see the numbers on the cracks. I can tell what they are with the BAMs and the dots just because I recognize the tile.
Okay.
But I've missed jokers a couple times because I can't see the numbers.
Okay. I can give you a tip for that. So I'm making notes on the side.
Okay.
And after we get through this presentation, I'll open Mahjong time and we'll circle back to these. So I'll show you how to open game settings, and I'll also show you how to select a different tile design. It's called Simplified, and it has helped a lot of people see tiles more clearly. So I'll show you that in just a little bit. Thank you so much for asking that question.
Sure.
So the next thing is, this is when you log in at Mahjong time, you should be prompted to join the tournament. The game will know that you're registered, and I can show you that as well in a few minutes. Let's see, I might as well show you now. Let's see here. When an event is registered at Mahjong time, it will be added to their tournament. Can you see the Mahjong time here? Yep. Okay. Yes. If you go to Mahjong time and click tournaments, and then from here, you'll see official tournaments. Here's the MAHJLIFE Invitational down here. So this is where all the tournaments are scheduled. You'll be able to see the tournament schedule. If you click on that, it'll take you to the rounds and show you the breaks and the time frame there. And then also the registered players. So you can see if you've been registered. If anybody who is here or watching the repost and you don't see your name, let me know. I'm still waiting for one more entry fee. So And also you can see we have 29 players. We need 2 more players. I'm going to be an alternate, and if we need another alternate, I will ask people who are in season 2 Winner Circle to join us. So we should have,
Michelle,
yes.
I have a question for you. So I don't see my name on there, and I was going to ask you about payment because I was never charged. So is
Okay.
that why I'm not on there?
Yeah, if I have not gotten a payment, your name won't be shown here, because what happens is when I receive the payment, I send your name and player name and email to Mahjong Time Support, and they add you to this list. So let me just look at really quick here.
Because I sent you all the Zelle information.
Yeah, and I did use Zelle, and I have some requests that timed out. So we may just be missing each other through technology, but yeah, I see it's through Zelle, and I think I'm just going to need to do a second request. So I'll do that after this event.
Thank you.
And clearly you're here, and I know that you're trustworthy. I will just be rest assured that I'll get the entry fee, and I'll submit your name today. So your name will be on there. And then there's one other person who I'm still waiting for payment on. I'm probably just going to go ahead and register them. So we have 32 players fully registered. So yeah, let me just make a note to resend that, and I'll take care of that right after this session.
Thank you.
If you are playing in any competition at Mahjong Time, go to this registered players list to make sure you see your name, because humans are at the wheel and oversights can happen. So that is important to know about. Oh, I just closed Mahjong Time. I wanted to show you something else there. Okay, so back to tournaments. The other thing that you want to see is this prize pool. If you click that, it'll have a little pop-up that shows a little more information. The invitational information is on my website, and the prize pool here is dependent on the number of players that we have. The more players we have, the bigger the prizes. So we can talk about that more later if you like. This registration is through me, so that's why you see registration is not open. Technically it is open, but it's just done offline. Because when you play at Mahjong Time, if you're playing one of their hosted events, let me stop sharing and I'll share Mahjong Time here. When you are playing at an event hosted by Mahjong Time, after you log in, if you want to register at Mahjong Time, what you'll do is go to tournaments. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one over. You'll click tournaments, and then this is where you'll click register. So you would find your tournament and then click register. And then I didn't really mean to register that, but so that is how you would register through Mahjong Time. Any MAHJLIFE event, you register through me, because I'm the one giving away the awards. And then also on Mahjong Time, you'll get in-game awards, which we can talk about as well. So let me go back home, and I'm going to go back to the presentation, because when you log in, you'll be seated at a table, and the seating is random. You should, depending on how many people are playing, be seated with different. Can you guys see the presentation again?
Yes.
No.
Well, no, we see you.
You see me? Okay, hold on. Yeah, I thought that looked funny for a minute. Hold on one second. Zoom. Share. Okay, now you can see it, I'm assuming. Okay, so this is a screenshot from when I played in a tournament at Mahjong time. They automatically seat you at a tournament, and you want to show up early, 15 minutes early, and then you can get up and walk away if you want, but be back at your seat at the top of the hour. And you'll see a little blurb about the event, and you'll see a timer there that will help prep you for when the game launches. And when the game is in play, it's just like what you experienced in Beat the Pro. The tiles are dealt, you go through the Charleston and play the game. It all feels the same way. The only difference is you play 4 games in a row. You have 50 minutes to play 4 games. If somebody wins early, or if you play fast and you have wall games or what have you, the game will launch another game, but you will likely not be able to complete a 5th game. You'll have to go through the motions of that 5th game and just play it out, and it will just stop once it hits the timer for that 50 minutes. Any questions about the login? When you log in and what it will look like? This is what it would look like. You'll see who you're playing with.
So I just want to clarify on your comment about if you get through the 4th game, it will automatically start a 5th game at that same table. If you happen to finish the 5th game, that score does not count, or is that still a glitch? I remember years ago there was some confusion on that.
I don't know. I would have to ask Slava because I've not experienced that, but to keep the game fair, my assumption is that only 4 games are scored. But
Yeah.
when I did that, if you watch that, I actually did a competition play and I filmed the whole thing. I don't think I have a link to that here, but if you want to watch it, you can. I have it in 4, I believe it's 4 or 5 different videos, and it shows you what I went through, and I talk through the experience. So it's a long watch, but I'd be happy to put it in the video description after when I repost this if you're interested in watching it. And when one of those rounds I played in, we went into a 5th game, but we could not finish it. And because you have to play 4 games in 50 minutes, if you launch into a 5th, typically there won't be time to complete it, and the game just ended. So I'll, in the meantime, ask Slava about that, and I'll have a answer for you. I'll put it in that video description. So let me just make a note to ask Slava about that. 4 games, 50 minutes, 5th game. Okay, so I'll find out what the deal is there. But my guess is, because not everyone is going to have the opportunity to play 5 games, so it would be unfair for one group of 4 players to have that opportunity. So I'm thinking that the answer will be no, it'll just be 4 games. I'm surprised that they don't have code built in to just stop the game after 4. And that it even launches another game. Maybe they need to update their program, because I was confused when we went through it. All right, so let's see next. After each round, you're going to see your results for that round, and you'll see your placement for that round. You're going to play, let me see here. What do we, I believe we have 4 50-minute rounds. Let's see, MAHJLIFE tournament schedule. No, 3. We have 3 50-minute rounds. Okay, so 3 50-minute rounds, and you'll see 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And I try not to focus on this personally. I prefer to play my best game 1 game at a time and just focus my energy there instead of being concerned about, oh crap, I'm in second place. I'm really going to have to push in this next game. I don't like putting that kind of pressure on myself. I just do my best one game at a time. And that helps me get through the competition with a healthy mindset. You do you, but that's how I do it. And I recommend trying that mindset and see how it feels for you. But you do you. Next, after a couple of seconds, after seeing the results, you'll be prompted to join the next round. So this is an invitation and you just click accept right there. So you'll click accept and then it'll put you into the next table. So you can see here, we have one player there, 2 other players haven't accepted that invitation yet. And then you just wait until the top of the hour again and begin again. So make sure you take a break, get up, stretch your legs, do a bio break, because you don't want to have to do that during the game because it can affect your score if you have to walk away for whatever reason. A robot will take over and technology issues can ensue if you walk away. Okay, next. When all the rounds are done, you'll get a prompt for telling you that the tournament has finished, and then there'll be a button to view the results. And when you do that, it will take you to Mahjong time, and you'll see the actual results by player, and you'll see where you're placed. So on this page, you would just scroll through to see where you were, and you'll see the rounds that were played and how many hands you won and the points that you had earned. And then, of course, the highest points are tabulated and you're placed in a ranking for second, third place, and so on. Let me share my screen again, and I'll show you how to get to that if you don't have, or if you lose access to that page. PowerPoint, here we go. So we're back at Mahjong time here. I'm going to go over to, right here. Here's American Mahjong GMT January 2025, results by players. You click that. And, okay, so that's ongoing right now. Let me click on this one here. So here you can see all the players that participated, and you can scroll through and see where they placed. This particular tournament, they had 32 players, and you can see how everybody did, including yourself, if you wanted to do a comparison for yourself. That's how you get to the results. So again, you go to tournaments, you find the tournament that you played in, and then you would click results by players to get to that list. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So the next thing that I want, oh, yes?
I had to unmute and I couldn't find the mute button. I clicked on the name of the tournament and it comes up with the screen and it says that you must register a week before the event. Do we have to register again?
No, you're already registered.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let me share my screen to Mahjong time again. Okay, so here's Mahjong time, and here's the MAHJLIFE Invitational. Are you talking about here? Register? Where did you say you clicked on it? The name?
Well, I'm trying to get back to it now and I can't find it, but I just clicked on the name, the MAHJLIFE Invitational, and it came up and said that you need to register a week in advance.
All right, so in Mahjong time, here we're in Mahjong time. If you go to tournaments, and then, here's MAHJLIFE Invitational right here. and you click view rules. So it takes you to the MAHJLIFE Invitational. He just basically copied the information from my page. You have to register a week in advance, but you're already registered.
Okay, so ignore that.
You don't have to do that at all.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Okay, sure, you're welcome. And you can see the wrap-up will be on the MAHJLIFE YouTube channel, where we'll announce the winners. Okay, so let me see, back to the presentation, because I just want to make sure that we cover as much as possible to make sure that you know what to expect. That's why we're here, to help you know what to expect. So we try to minimize the anxiety, especially if you're new to playing competitively. Okay, so if you are in the winner circle, you'll have access to this invitational dashboard. It's similar to the winner circle, the Beat the Pro winner circle dashboard. You'll have access to merch if you choose to, that's optional. And then also you can register for the biennial rumble. And that's really it. So the rest of this session, we can talk about playing competitively. I'd be happy to share tips, but before I do that, let me show you Mahjong Time and how to get to the game settings so that you can customize it or maybe play between now and next Saturday with those features activated so that you can test it out and get the game set up to where it functions to where you are comfortable. So let me, let's see. Hi, Abby. Did you have a question? You can unmute if you like.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I did. And that is, you talked about if the games go quicker, then, so that you could get in a fifth game. But suppose a game, hold on.
I wonder if she's going to say what happens if it,
All right.
oh, baby.
Here he is. Here's Mr. Big Mouth. Hi, Riley. So my question is, suppose some games go really slowly, will the players be prompted in some way that you need to hurry up or you won't have time for a fourth game, or what do we do?
The game will just stop. It'll time out. So let's say you're in game 3 and you hit the 50-minute mark, the game will just stop and you won't go into the fourth game. So that will affect your score. One of the reasons why this program is designed the way it is because the Beat the Pro is the entry point. Anybody who joins Beat the Pro is going to have a certain level of confidence to be able to play in a live stream event, and if they win, they can. That's one way to prove their skills. And if you are new to playing competitively, though, there's an additional requirement, and that is to play a 12-minute game. Because if you're playing a 50-minute round, let me just get a calculator up here because I can't divide 50 by 4. So 50 divided by 4, 12.5, 12 and a half minutes. So when you play competitively, you need to play quickly and make quick decisions, which is one reason why I do those sprint skill builders. During the Charleston, it's really easy to get hung up with the paralysis of analysis. So you've got to push yourself to make quick decisions so that you're sure to get those 4 games within a 50-minute time period. And that 12-minute game is one of those parameters that you want to shoot for. So when you're playing competitively, intentionally make quick decisions. Try not to vacillate. Try not to get hung up on being in between. Pick your strongest option and keep going, and try not to slow down because it will impact the schedule for that round. And you could end up getting a 0 for an unfinished game. So practice is important. And one way you can do that is to do sprints at home with a stopwatch app. and then practice the Charleston, because that's where you can time yourself. If you can make decisions in under 2 minutes on average through a Charleston, I would say you can probably play a 12-minute game. The Charleston is really the most difficult parts of the game as far as hand development, decision making in a timely manner. When you're picking discard one tile at a time, typically you can think ahead a little bit, and the timing isn't affected as much during the pick and discard phase of the game. But the Charleston is where people get hung up and get maybe slowed down by crazy passes. Like if someone gives you a pair of winds and a wind, what are you going to do with that? Or if you get a pair and a single, or like numbers, you know, these are the kinds of wacky passes that can throw you for a loop and delay your decision making. So it's really good to practice getting those kinds of wacky passes. And the more sprints you do, which have random tiles, it's a good way to test yourself. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you can search by sprints and you'll see lots of examples. And you'll even see me stumble in some of those sprints. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't cut out my anxiety when I do those exercises. So you can see where I get hung up and where I extend past the 2-minute mark. So it does happen even to advanced players. So I hope that helps. But
because I'm also hoping that no one like loses connection, because if they do, you know, there's like a minute where they get time to reconnect, and you know, all this can eat into that.
It can.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay.
since we're playing online, there are going to be technology. There could be technology issues, and we just have to ride with it. Just go with the flow, do the best you can. If you get booted out, just log back in. The game will prompt you to return. Just click the button, return to game, and you'll see the game in process. If it takes too long for you to get in, a robot will take over and will relinquish control to you eventually. But sometimes it takes a little bit of time for that to happen. So it's easier said than done, but try to be patient and don't get flustered. Just breathe through that and do the best you can. Once the next game starts, you should have full control. But that process between a robot relinquishing control and you getting control, that can take a little bit of time. You might even need to just wait for the robot to go through decision making until the game sees that you're present. And you do the best you can by trying to pass tiles. The game will eventually see that you're there. And I don't know if you've noticed in some of my live streams, it has happened to me live. And I do get frustrated. I try to stay calm. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go on tilt. But that does happen even in my live streams, whether you're playing socially or in a competition. But it's best to try to just stay calm and know that it will resolve itself eventually. But it can affect the timing. Okay, so now let me go to Mahjong time. So the first thing that I want to show you is how to get to the game settings. Up in the upper right corner, do you see the cog? It's tiny, but it's the third button in the upper right corner. If you click that, it's going to open a dialog box with several menu items: your account, your information, or your name, location, transactions, which is all about your subscription and how you can actually buy dragon chips or golden coins, the in-game currency. Also, general settings. This is where this is where you select your favorite playing style, National Mahjong League, for example. But here in game settings, this is where you see the features that you can use to customize your experience. If you deselect auto arrange tiles, which is a default setting, you'll be able to then move your tiles around and they'll stay there. Once you're in a game, there's a little button that you can click to auto sort, and I'll show that to you in a minute. These are the settings that I use now. You can see that I've adapted them since that last screenshot. Safe discard help, highlight active discard. I don't want this enable winner hand animation. Although wait, I do these live streams. I kind of like that. Double click on the discarded tile to discard it. Dynamic action view. I have no idea what that is, and I don't know why I have that selected. Show tile tooltip, that I do recommend, and I'll show you what that looks like. So those are the features that I recommend, and I'm going to update that. I screenshotted that, so I'll update my presentation for the next time. Under graphics settings, you can have a background. This all has nothing to do with function. It's really more about the visual. But what I wanted to find, oh yes, in this game settings, this is where you can change the style of the design of the tile. Right now I have American style selected, and I'm going to go out of here and show you what it looks like, and then I'll come back and show you another version that you can use if you have a hard time seeing the tiles. So let me close, and then I'm going to go to Mahjong School, and I'm going to just click on this practice wall, and we'll have the tiles dealt. So this tile design, this is what I prefer. It is called American style. It's the default style. The button I was talking about, auto sort, is right here, the second button down on the right. If you click that, it will sort your tiles. But since in the feature I selected, or I deselected auto arrange, I'm able to move the tiles instead, or as an option. And if you do that, you still have the option to auto sort. Okay, so now I'm going to exit here, and I'm going to show you a different style in case you have a hard time seeing the tiles. So I'm going to go back to the cog, back to game settings, and then I'm going to select simplified style. It's called simplified. So I have that now set, and I'm going to go back to Mahjong School, and I'll click the random wall again, practice wall, where, here we go, wait, where'd it go? Here we go. Okay, so let's see what it looks like now. Oh, what happened? What is going on here? Okay, it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to click on any one of them. You see these tiles? So you see the suit is at the bottom, bam, crack, dot, and then the number is really big on top. Does anybody have any questions about that? Who had asked about, somebody asked about not being able to see the tiles. Was that
Michelle,
Judy?
in
Yes.
addition to the great option of changing to this simplified view, simplified style of tile, there is one other feature that I've found sometimes helps me see better, and that's just above. It's on that right side, just above the button you pressed that had the auto sort, where you had the two arrows. So if you were back on that screen, there's one that changes. It's in the gameplay, and it changes the tilt of the table. So if you,
okay.
and that can sometimes, if people have, there's like 3 different degrees of tilt on the table, and certain times, depending on the lighting around me and the polarization and what voodoo I've done, some angles are make it easier for me to see the other people's exposures and affect also the glow of the joker tiles. So that's another feature that I've played with to find the setting given the lighting and what glasses I'm wearing.
Okay.
So if you go back, it's going to, as it populates with your tiles, once you've got your view, you see that table zoom button that you're pointing at?
Yep.
That can make a difference.
Okay, let's just demonstrate it then. Thank you for bringing that up.
Michelle, this is Debbie. I'm the one that asked about having trouble seeing the tiles.
Uh-huh.
And I want to ask you, on those tiles you've got up right now,
Yes.
is that second one from the left? Is that the one, Bam?
Yes.
Okay. And the other question I had was, you see how the jokers show up,
Yes.
the regular joker, but then when exposures are put up with a joker, it's just whiter.
Yes.
I have trouble seeing that too. Is
And
there any
that's-
way to change that?
No, there's no way to change that. However, this is not going to help right now, but I have been told that they are going to reprogram that so that it displays as a joker, just like you see here, but they have
Yeah.
to change the program.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's part of it. It's one of the feature requests that have been submitted. So I'll just click on this once so you can see how the table, what is that called? The aspect ratio changes. There's this one, and it just toggles. So then we have kind of a bird's eye view, and then we have a normal view here. This
I
is,
tried that, but it didn't help.
oh, it didn't help. Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, let's just see if we can get to a, oh, I even playing with robots, I don't want to pass like numbers, but I'm gonna do it anyway, even though this doesn't matter, but it makes me cringe inside. I hate it. I really don't, I don't like doing that, but we're just gonna do this really quick so you can see an exposure with a joker. So we'll just get through this super quick. What do you think about this tile design compared to the other one? Do you
Well,
think it will help?
It certainly is easier to see the numbers.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're just gonna keep clicking through here.
Well, is that first one on the left? Is that a 4 BAM?
It's a flower.
Okay, that's a flower.
Yeah, the BAMs have a little bamboo stick.
Yeah, I see the 5365 over here,
Uh-huh.
but boy, that doesn't look like a flower.
Well, yeah, they I don't know who designed their tiles, but I think once you pick a design that you prefer, it may not be ideal to your eye, but we're limited to the selection that they offer. Oops.
Right.
Shoot. Oh, okay, what? There we go. I have a lag. I don't know why I have such lags here.
Michelle,
Yeah.
I've also found that you can actually hover over their tiles over on their board and it will tell you what they are. So
Okay.
you don't, like, you can hover over any of the tiles and it will tell you what they are.
Okay, once we get to where there are exposures, we'll demonstrate that.
Okay.
So let's get through the Charleston here really quick. Hopefully really quick. Come on.
Well, you're playing the Charleston. I did have, I don't know if it'll help, but we were talking earlier, you were talking earlier in response to a question about the timing. And I did want to remind people that my understanding is this game that we'll be playing will have like an 8-second decision rule on your turn. And just remember, if you haven't experienced it before, if you go over that time, the computer will automatically discard. And I believe that they discard your most recent pick.
Yeah.
So if you've never experienced that before, the first time it happens, it can be really rattling. So don't get yourself upset. Just say oops, and remember that if the game is set for how many seconds you are allowed to hold and make a decision on your pick off the wall before you discard, and you fail to take that action, it will do it for you.
Yes. And I in the features, there is a feature that you can activate to give you a beep so that doesn't happen. I have it turned off, but I'll show you which one it is. I probably should have pointed that out. But you can have a timer beep at you so that you can quickly or push yourself to get a tile out before the game does it for you. Okay, so let's see if we can get to an exposure. So here too, I can show you the tooltip text. If you hover over a tile, you'll get a little dialogue. See the black dialogue that says bamboo 3, available 3, discarded 0.
1 bamboo.
You can also do that if you hover over a tile in the discard pile. You see bamboo 1, available 3, discarded 1, but a 1 was just discarded, so there is sometimes a delay. So then you just wait until the next turn, and then when you hover your mouse over that tile, it will update. So you see bamboo 1, available 2, discarded 2. Also, what you can see, let me put this in here. Also,
3 bamboo.
okay, there. Now, do you see here we're being prompted? We're going to say pass, of course. But if I hover my mouse over the 3, there, do you see how that 3 lifted? Do you see how the 3 bam on the table lifted up? Let me do it again. I'll click on the 5. I'm going to hover over the 3. It lifts the tiles so you can quickly see how many are out. So that is a helpful feature, I think.
3 bamboos.
Also, oh yeah, I want to show you, if you don't already know, how to define a joker. If you are playing a gap hand, so let's say, for example, we have 2 wests instead of an east-west. Let's say that we have those 2 wests and we have a gap for the 4th hand down under Winds and Dragons. We need a pair of flowers. We need, actually, I don't think I would play that because we have a pung of norths. I think I would play the first hand here. So let's say we play north, pung east, pung west, kong south. And let's pretend that the west, there's a pair of wests there. And we don't have an east. That would be a gap hand. The game will not recognize what kind of a hand you're playing if you have a gap in your hand for a block that you need to have represented. You can define a joker to fill that gap so the game will know what you're going for. Yeah. So to define a joker, you double click on it and make sure you do that when it's not your turn, because if you double click on it and you have it set to double click to discard, it will discard your joker. So timing is important when you do this. Let's wait for my turn to happen. I'm going to throw the flower.
I would play the concealed hand under east, north, or winds and dragons.
Well, we could. I gave away the, oh no, I threw the 5 dot away a while ago, but this is just, yes, you could play the concealed hand, absolutely. But I want to do this so that, just to show you how to define a joker. So you double click on it and it will open a dialog box once you click define joker. And then you select from here what you want it to represent. Here we want it to be an east, because we're pretending like we have 2 wests. So now you can see the joker is still highlighted. So you can see it's different. Right. That is a defined joker. So now we can pung and kong. So if we did truly have a gap hand, the game would know we're trying for the first, one of the first options on the card. To undefine it, you again want to wait until, oh, we got skipped. So let me undefine that now. You just double click it and click undefine.
5 dots.
And then you're back to where it was. And you want to be mindful of when you use that feature, because you want to give yourself the ability to use the jokers
7 dots
dynamically. And if you define it, it takes time to undefine, and you could lose that opportunity on a discard if you've already defined your jokers. So be mindful. Typically, I'll only define a joker when I have a gap. Sometimes I'll define a joker if I'm waiting for one particular tile and I don't want to be prompted on flowers or whatever. There are other features in the game on the left side. You can use these auto pass toolbar, the in-game toolbar, to keep the game from prompting you. I typically don't use these tools. Anybody else? Does anybody use those tools over there on the left?
Yeah, I mean, I use them regularly to adjust, but it did take a learning curve where I would make mistakes and then miss opportunities.
Yeah.
So if you haven't really gotten very comfortable with it, I don't recommend between now and next week you try it. Just leave it on that kind of setting for jokers.
Yes. And on my Facebook page, I have a cheat sheet on what those buttons all mean. But if you hover your mouse over each one, it will give you a tip on what it does. So the second one down ignores pungs. The next one down ignores kongs. The next one ignores jokers. And to me, this makes no sense to me. And then pass all means that you're just playing like maybe a concealed hand. You just don't want to be prompted for anything. You could click pass all if you're playing a pair hand or if you're playing something where you don't want to have exposures.
Yeah,
Okay.
100% when I'm playing a concealed hand, when I know I'm playing a concealed hand, I click that pass all because then it never gives that pause that that other players at the table can infer information on from.
Yeah.
It will never let you miss your Mahjong tile.
Yeah, let's use this aspect ratio so you can see what the tiles look like. If you click this button, it's a toggle feature. So now maybe that will help you see the exposures a little easier.
White dragon.
Michelle, I've been playing with the brightness on my laptop screen. And when I increase the brightness, it makes the jokers brighter.
Okay, good.
So that may help other folks.
That's a good tip. Yeah. Okay, we're not taking that. Let's see. To exchange a joker, you double click.
8 characters.
So let's, right now, we don't have the tile to do that, but the double click on an exposure action will also activate the disqualification feature. So when you do a joker exchange, you'll be prompted to decide whether or not you want to disqualify the player. Just say no, unless you do want to disqualify them. But the double click on a joker will activate that. So don't be surprised if you see that prompt to disqualify them. Just click no.
North wind.
Okay, finally, we're going to Kong. And now we'll discard there, and we're on a triple weight. This is fantastic. East, west, or south, and we'll win on that. Of course,
5 characters.
in Mahjong school, the program is very generous with jokers being dealt to you. This probably wouldn't happen in a real game with people. I was trying to see if we could do a joker exchange here.
Flower.
So in the future, these bright tiles, which are jokers, these will look like the actual joker tile. That's what I've been told. Okay, so we got our Mahjong in here. No surprise, the game is set to give you a Mahjong if you're in Mahjong school because they want you to be encouraged. Okay, any questions about the game setup, features, and such?
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you get your photograph in there rather than an avatar? I have the premium yearly subscription.
Okay, let me share my screen again. I haven't done this in years, so I'm going to have to muddle my way through it, but I believe I remember how. So let me go to share.
You can't use a photo unless you're VIP.
Yeah, so we're gonna go.
Oh, okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so depending on what subscription you have, you would click on the cog, go to my account to check your subscription type. Let's see here. My info. I don't know, transactions, general, where is it? Game graphic, my account. Where does
You
it
can
say?
just click on your picture, I think, Michelle.
Yeah, your picture in the top left corner.
Okay, hold, let's see. Oh, over here.
Yeah, just click on it. There you go.
That, I was in the same place. That opens the same thing. Let's see, I know, maybe we go to cashier. The cashier button.
Mm-mm.
Let's see, general info. Yeah, this is where it is. So cashier, and it will show you your membership type. So I'm a VIP. So once you see that you're VIP, you would, let's see here, I'm trying to remember. I need to get to my,
I think it's the virtual shop.
yeah, I had to move let me move this up. Where did that go here? Okay, all right, so here we are, virtual shop. And it will open where you customize your avatar. And then there'll be a place in here where you can upload an image. Let's see, new. I think you probably have to go to new. And then let's see, create new avatar. I don't remember how to do this. Let's see.
That's only available with the VIP subscription.
Yeah, if you click on manage avatars, I think.
Oh, okay, manage. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me go back to new. Where was that? Okay, let me close that. I just want to see what, okay, so manage, it is manage avatar. Thank you. So here, my default, you see the word default there? If you click on that, and then you would click upload image, and that's where you can change, and you would browse to your local computer to find an image and upload it that way. But I think having a VIP is correct. Otherwise, you can click on a different avatar and change the default. But let's see, if you set default, where do you customize it? Let's see. I really have, you could tell I haven't done this in many years. I think I've been playing here since 2017, so I haven't played around with that much at all. Where you can change your avatar, your face, and you can pick the different elements to create something unique. Or if you're VIP, you can upload a photo of yourself. Okay, so I hope that helps. I'm sorry, I'm not very
So if
there.
I subscribed in September, and so I paid the yearly subscription for premium. So if I wanted to upgrade to the VIP now, would it just prorate and charge me the difference for the remainder of that year that I have?
I don't know. You would just have to, probably, I would assume it will. You could send an email to support@mahjongtime.com and ask that question. I don't know. But I would assume it would. If you don't want to be surprised, you might send them an email and ask.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that. I did that. I mean, I had paid for the lower one. I wanted the higher tier, but then I had to work with the tech at Mahjong Time. So
Since we're talking about that, does anybody understand the different perks for the memberships? Because I can share that if you're interested. Why would somebody want to be a VIP versus premium? I can share about that quickly here. If you go to Mahjong Time and you scroll to the bottom, you should see memberships. Let's see, where is it? Their website is a challenge to navigate.
Mhm.
So there should be a place in here about memberships. Let me go to about Mahjong Time.
If you go to your account and click on subscription, it'll show what type of subscription you have, and then it has a compare button. And I'm looking at that right now where it's got the membership and the different features
here.
of each.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is what I was trying to get to. They have this on their website, but I don't know where it is. Okay, thank you for that. So here, the free membership, you can play there for free. However, can you guys see this image? Can you see the membership comparison?
No.
No? Okay, let me try sharing again. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so there's three membership, free memberships, free, premium, and a VIP. The free one, you can play at Mahjong Time free, but only up to 4 games a day unless you have won, because the in-game currency, which is used to play at the table, is given or awarded to the winner. So the more dragon chips you have, the more games you can play. So you can have a sustainable free account if you win. You get 1,000 chips per day to play with. So if you lose and run out of chips, you just need to wait to the next day. But if you don't want to be shackled by waiting, you can upgrade to premium. Premium, you get up to 1,000 3 times a day. So when you run out of 1,000, you'll be replenished 1,000 and so on up to 3 times. So you can play more games. With VIP, you get up to 1,000 5 times a day. And then, of course, the more you play, the more you win, the more chips you have, the more you can play at your leisure. The other big difference is the rate. Mahjong Time takes a portion of the award to encourage a higher membership. If you have a free account, Mahjong Time keeps 20% of the award when you win. For premium, they'd keep 5%, and for VIP, you get all of it. So clearly they want you to be a VIP member because you get your award, all of your award, rather than them getting a rate. And then they have the custom avatar features, which I personally don't, that doesn't appeal to me. What appealed to me was the chips. I want as many chips as I can get, and I want all of it. So that's why I'm VIP, because I want the chips. I want all the chips when I win. So that's $7.95 per month, and then $4.95 per month for premium, and then of course free is no cost. All right, so any other questions that I could help answer, not just with Mahjong Time, but playing competitively? I'd be more than happy to share tips.
Michelle, this is Tracy.
Yes.
We were talking earlier about the timing of the game, and I wondered if in Mahjong Time, when you choose the game you want to play, there's a column that offers the number of seconds that is available on that game for you to make your decision, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so compare that to, and it may have been said earlier, what would a 12, what you said, 12-minute game or 13-minute, whatever?
8 seconds.
8?
Yes.
8. So if you can play in any of those games that are 8 or lower,
yes,
you could feel pretty confident that you could do this.
Yes, that's an excellent comment. And yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
7. So this time limit column right here, there's the 7-second decision making. And then most of them are 8, and there's a beginner one at 10. Do you see
So
this?
Michelle,
Yes?
this is Gail. Does that mean that the time bank is not accessible during a tournament game? That extra 30 seconds you can have on your clock, you pay for it, I guess, then in tokens or something? Dragon
Yes.
chip.
I don't know if you're allowed to use a time bank during a tournament. I would have to ask about that. Does anybody here have experience with that? Because I don't know. I've never used it. You can see what she's referring to is this feature in the next to, here's my photo in the upper left corner, followed by the belts. And then there are some feature or some perks that are available. There's a coffee break, a time bank, voice chat, open wall. I have never ever
If you click on it, it opens up.
Yeah, if you look in the tournament rules, I think it outlaws anything other than that
Okay.
8-second.
Yeah, I would think that would not be fair to the other players. If you click coffee break, it gives you 3 minutes between deals. So I think
Jeez.
that is intended for multi-round custom marathons when you create a game. So if I'm on I'm in the lobby and I create a new game. If I create a new game, we could do a 4-round session. Each round has 4 games. And if you're playing and you want to take a coffee break during that playing session, you can use that feature so everybody could walk away and your marathon would still be in place. Otherwise, the game might time out and you would lose it. I'm envisioning that that's what it's for. I personally have never used any of those features.
Michelle, for the tournament, is the game set for 8 seconds?
Yes. 8-second decision making on the Charleston and pick and discard. All right, any other questions for prep, mindset, rules? Oh, one thing we didn't talk about is scoring. At Mahjong time, they go by the value on the card. So when someone has 2 exposures and a player discards the winning tile, there is no penalty for discarding with multiple exposures. In an in-person tournament, typically there's a penalty, but those penalties don't apply in a Mahjong time tournament. It's just based on the scoring on the card, like social play.
I did have one other, I don't know, it was just in my notes for when I have friends that are beginners and they try to do like a marathon or something. I always warn them about this, and some of you probably already know this, but those of you who don't get startled. In something like a marathon, and so I believe it is also in this type of tournament situation, when your hand is set, it's going to prompt you to click Mahjong on tiles that aren't your Mahjong tile. I have watched so many really great players get rattled by that at first and just, oh, it says Mahjong, and they hit it.
Yeah.
I know it would be better for me to keep my mouth shut, not warn you, and one of you will do it, and then you'll have lost the game. No, we don't want that to happen to you. So remember, or maybe even play at a marathon. I don't know if they've started yet, but remember that in this competitive setting, when your hand is set, it will prompt you for Mahjong, even if it's not your Mahjong tile. So don't just click on that out of excitement when you see it. It's red, it's bright, it's shiny, and we're so used to only seeing it in Michelle's games when we play just a quick Mahjong, which is just a one hand. It'll only show that if it's a legitimate Mahjong. In this setting, you might see that pop up even when that tile would not give you Mahjong. Then you'll have clicked Mahjong in error and your hand will be disqualified. I've warned all my friends. I hope you guys don't think I'm being too forward. I want you to be my friends too. So remember
What
that
is
and
the
don't get
purpose?
rattled.
what is the purpose of that? Do you know?
So just like if you were playing a real game and someone discards a tile, I can always claim it as a mahjong and be mahjong in error. So I think it's just, again, your hand is set. You could potentially claim mahjong on a wrong disc on a wrong tile, and they're just making it more realistic. I don't know if someone has a better answer than that, but it happens.
Yeah.
And I've watched it happen to great players when they're not used to the format, and you see it. I don't, Carol, you play regularly on Mahjong Time. I think, who else is like a regular person who does marathons? Can anyone else?
do.
I mean, I'm not making this up, but in case
Oh,
you
yeah.
Yes,
It
yes.
does that.
And
It does that.
beginners, like if you're not sure of the hands, I got when I was just starting out, I thought, oh, it must be a mahjong, even though I knew it wasn't, but the computer's telling me it is, and then I got, it wasn't. So they make you think.
Yeah, it does. And that's the purpose. I asked Slava this specifically, and he says it's to test your resolve. It's a test.
Yeah.
Don't click it unless it's your actual winning hand. Okay, any other questions about the game playing at Mahjong Time?
I have a question that doesn't matter too much, but I don't understand the chat. What is that chat that keeps showing up?
Yeah, that it's just a way to socialize.
And all those little initials means things like very nice or great hand and all that.
It's like,
Very nice game.
WD is well done.
Good game, GG.
BV.
But they're all different games that are just, it may not be your game it's showing up on your chat, right?
Yeah, no,
It's
global.
weird.
Yeah, it's global.
hard to do on an iPad. I can chat on my, my pro, whatever, my computer, but on iPads, I can't get up there and tell people it's a great hand or something. So
Yeah, it looks different on a mobile device than it does in a desktop laptop, but VN is very nice. WD is well done. And those are the two most common, but they use the acronyms to shorten it so you don't have to type, but it is global. Let's see, I guess a couple of tips for playing competitively. What I do is to keep a clear head and a healthy mindset. When I play in a competitive setting, the first thing that I prepare myself for is to not win. I do not want to think that I'm going to come home with a prize, because if I don't, then I'm going to be disappointed and I'm going to kick myself. So instead, I play for the experience, the enjoyment of it, and I play my best game one game at a time. That's my focus. If I win, that is icing on the cake. So I don't expect to win, because even if experienced players, the most knowledgeable players of skill, strategy, rules, can still have a bad day, make bad decisions, straddle too long, or misread a player, play to win versus folding and throwing a tile to a winning hand. So even experienced players might not get into the winner's circle. So it's not to set yourself up for a hard hit. Just think about playing your best game one game at a time, which leads to the results board. When I play, I don't go there. Now, some people may do that, and that's fine too, but there's nothing you can do about it. If you play your best game, what is written on that results board doesn't matter, because you can't control the next game. You can only do the best you can one game at a time. So I don't put pressure on myself by looking, oh crap, I'm at 12. I gotta do better. Well, of course I'm gonna do better. That's my mindset, is to play my best game. So I stay away from the leaderboard. And I don't even look at my stats. When I play, I just play my best game one game at a time. Those are my top tips. The other tip that I have is to do your best to not discard the winning tile throughout the event. On this year's card, every tile can be used as a single. So even if you can account for 3 tiles out, you may still discard the winning tile to somebody. But you do your best to not do that. Just look at what is out, look at exposures, look at discards, and then assess the level of risk for that particular discard and count the cost. If you're going to play to win, discard it. If you are considering folding to block, break up your hand and discard as safely as possible, because again, every tile this year could be used as a single. So just do your best to not throw the winning tile. Those are my top tips. And if anybody else wants to share their top tips to help people who've never played competitively, feel free to do that now.
Michelle, how does a wall game turn out in this type of event? If you have a wall game, is there still a first, somebody comes in first, second, third, and fourth, and that's how it's judged or scored?
When there's a wall game, everybody gets 0.
Oh, okay.
If you play 4 games and one is a wall game, there'll be 0 for everybody that game.
And to clarify, if when you see the first, second, third, fourth, that at the end of like a quick round or whatever, if it's a wall game, that's really irrelevant to the way we score it. That's just them. It's going to assign that. Like imagine Michelle was playing on a live stream, just a quick Mahjong game, and it was a wall game. You might still see her showing as first. That's just essentially ranking people by their rating on Mahjong Time, and it's not. It doesn't affect points. It doesn't affect the rate or anything like that.
Thank you, because I have hands and I'm third, fourth, whatever. And I think now how I was waiting on 1. I have no jokers exposed. How could I be third? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's not meaningful in a quick Mahjong game. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you do throw the winning tile during the tournament, do you lose points, or did I hear earlier that does not happen?
At Mahjong Time, you're only awarded points, or actually, I think you do get negative. Let me see here. I think they have this. Let me just look on Mahjong Time, because I know I saw on there.
Yeah, you can get negative points. It's National Mahjong League scoring.
Just like you're playing in person, if you throw the winning tile to a 25-point hand, you're going to get negative 50.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like playing in person. So we're strictly by what is on the card.
My understanding is based on what you signed up, your documentation and how they run other American scoring National Mahjong League type tournaments. So if you go to the one you participated in the past, you'll see that people are scored based on counting up the amounts of points they've won on the table, netting out the points they've lost, and that's what they're doing, as opposed to aggregating it into a 1, 2, 3, 4 for each round.
Okay.
This is wonky stuff, but if you want to talk offline, I don't want to scare everybody.
No, that's okay. When I'll send an email to Slava and I'll ask him to confirm. And then I will put up there, I have 2 questions to ask him after the interaction here. I'll ask 4 games in 50 minutes. If a 5th game launches, what happens if that is completed? Does that go into the total score or not? So that's one question. And then I'll ask to confirm scoring. And my assumption is that it's just like playing at a regular single game. If you discard the winning tile, you pay double the value on the card for the hand. If it's a jokerless hand, you pay double. So it's just like you play in person. If you play for points, it's based on the card. But I will get confirmation and I will add whatever I find out onto the applicable web page. And I'll also put it in the video description of this session once I get this video posted. Any other questions or concerns about playing for the first time in a competitive game? Yes.
I don't have a question about that. I must have zoned out when you were telling us like 15 minutes, we need to start early, 15 minutes, but where are we going to Mahjong Time? Are we going to your website and logging in there? I missed that somehow.
Okay, you log in at Mahjong Time. That is where the event takes place. log in at Mahjong Time, and you'll be logged in all day. Well, for the session, it's 3 50-minute sessions with 10-minute breaks. So you'll log in 15 minutes early is what they recommend. Log in and you'll be prompted to join a table.
Okay, so it'll automatically send me to the tournament. I won't
Yes.
have to click on anything to get to a tournament.
Well, you should, when you log in, you should be prompted to join the tournament, and it will
Okay.
see you at your first table.
Okay.
Then after that round, you'll see an invitation dialog box, and you'll click accept to go to the next table. And just leave it open, get up, walk around, do your thing for 10 minutes, and then come back and do the next round, and so on. 3 50-minute rounds with 10-minute breaks. And then after the event, we'll meet in a live stream on my YouTube channel, and we'll go over the results and do the awards and door prizes.
So if I wanted to play earlier in the day and I go to log in, how do I get around that tournament? Like, is there a certain time when that tournament's going to pop up, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
It'll be something you just have to experience, because I haven't played in an event in a while, so I don't recall and I don't have any screenshots. But you should be able to play whenever you want. When you log in, if you are not prompted, click tournaments, and let me share my screen again. Here. So if you log in, here we're logged in at Mahjong Time. This is what you see when you first log in. You'll see this opening screen. And if you click tournaments, if you're not prompted to join a table, click tournaments, and then you can go to Mahjong Invitational, and it should say, like up here, this tournament right here at top is happening right now, and it says open. So you may be able to, you may need to go here and click join or open if you're not prompted. But if I remember correctly, when I opened Mahjong Time, it prompted me to join a table, or to accept the invitation to join the tournament. It was a dialog box specifically for that event. But I don't, since I'm not a registered player, I can't do that here, and then it's not activated, so I don't have an example to show. When would somebody be willing to volunteer to take a screenshot of what you see when you log in, so I can add that to this presentation? I'm not going to be playing in the tournament since I'm the host. What happens if I click open? I'm
I
not
can register
registered.
for tonight's tournament for the National Mahjong League White Dragon and take a screenshot and send it to you, Michelle.
Okay, that'd be great.
Sure.
That sounds great. Thank you very much.
That's 6 o'clock Eastern time. Or
What?
6:30 Eastern time.
Okay, yeah, that'd be very helpful. And I can add that to the presentation, so next time people can see what to expect. Let's see, anything else? Does anybody have any anxiety they want to talk through, or any questions, other questions about Mahjong Time, playing at Mahjong Time? Are you all used to playing there now? Yes? Okay.
Pretty much.
And what did you think of the learning curve?
It helped watching you play a lot on your live streams.
Okay.
And it helped watching a few of their videos. I still don't understand their whole not ranking, but like if you're a bronze or a yellow or whatever, because I had a stripe and then I was away for several weeks and couldn't play. And now I don't have that stripe. And the more and more I play, I still can't get that stripe on my bronze. So I don't understand how that works, but that's neither here nor there for the tournament.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the tournament, but what I was told is that once you achieve a rank, which is the belt system,
The
It's-
belts, that's, yeah.
Yeah, the belt system, it's inspired by martial arts. So, the belt system in martial arts. So you start out with a white belt, then there's a green belt, brown belt, and black belt. When you have a belt, you can earn 2 stripes before you graduate to the next belt. So if you start off with a white belt, everybody starts out with a white belt. Even if you're an experienced player, you're new to the platform, you get a white belt. As you win, you earn ranking. And when you hit a certain threshold, you earn a stripe. When you hit another threshold, you earn the second stripe. And then when you hit that third threshold, you upgrade to the next belt. What I've been told is that you cannot lose your achievements. So I'm surprised that you lost a stripe, because I
I
was
lost
told,
a stripe. Yeah,
I
on
have
the
too.
brown belt, I lost a stripe because I didn't play for, I don't know, 3 weeks.
well, I know the ranking, which is separate from the visual belts, because I asked Slava about that you shouldn't lose your belt ranking, but the actual statistical ranking, that goes up and down. Because if you're inactive, the players who are active will surpass you.
Right. I'll email support and find out.
Yeah.
There's
Because
also
I've been trying to catch up. I've been trying to play a lot of games and I still can't get that stripe.
there's a YouTube video, if you Google it, that they show you like how they calculate it and everything. Which is kind of interesting, because if you're playing black belts, you're going to go up faster if you're not a black belt. If you're
Right.
playing white belts, you won't go up as fast. So yeah, there is a YouTube video on that.
Thank you.
And there is a tutorial on Maj Time as well. There's a way to go into the game, and there is a tutorial of the belt. It's like an animated, and
Yeah.
then there's a scoring system, and you can look and see, like, to get to the second stripe, that because I lost a stripe as well. I was at a 2 stripe, and then I lost a stripe, and so I've been trying to get it. So like 150, you got to get to 150 points to get that second stripe. So, but there is a tutorial actually in the game that'll tell you in a ranking system.
Yeah, I think it told me that I needed a certain amount of
Yeah.
points to get that stripe back, and I've exceeded that, and I still
Oh.
don't have, 2 brown stripes on, wait a minute, brown belt, 1
At the
brown
bottom.
stripe. Oh, I have to get up to 100. I think I'm like 80 or something. So, okay. I just
Yeah.
got to keep winning.
This must be the video that Dana was
Yeah.
talking about right
Yeah.
here. So I'll include this in the video description, just because it's part of the discussion. Okay, so, and that it is an accolade, but it just really depends on your personality. Some people are driven by the award systems, and in that case, use it. But the way that, even though I would love to have a black belt, I've been trying for a black belt since 2017. And because I have a busy life, I can't play enough to keep that momentum going. When it happens, and that's how I look at it. I try not to get too focused on it, because then I get discouraged. Because I would love to have a black belt.
It might be really fun one day, Michelle, to have a conversation about how that works and in more detail, because it is really interesting. And there are certain things that I know I do that prevent me from getting a black belt. And I can see how that could be happening with you too. But I do think you never, if you had a stripe on the field of, if you had a brown belt with a 1 black stripe, you won't lose rating. So what I'm suspecting happened to those of you who think you've lost it is you had maybe a green belt with 1 brown stripe, then a green, and then you moved up to a brown belt with 0 stripes. You see what I'm saying? If your color belt moves up, you start again with 0 stripes on that color belt. Because I've never seen anybody on Mahjong Time lose. They're not supposed to. Once you've earned that the belt and its stripes, you don't lose it, no matter how badly your rating changes. So my guess is that you might have been seeing what looked like a a brown stripe on the green belt, and then your rating went high enough that you became a solid brown belt. And now you don't see stripes on it until you hit the next threshold level. That would be my first guess about visually on the screen seeing it. What looked like a stripe is not there anymore. Is probably because your entire belt moved up from a white belt to a green belt, then a green belt with a brown stripe, a green belt with 2 brown stripes, and then full on brown belt.
Possibly, yeah. But Michele, thank you for doing this Zoom. It was really helpful. And especially, I mean, it allowed me to see that I wasn't registered. So on Mahjong time. So.
We'll get you registered. And thank you everybody for asking questions and for helping answer questions. Your interaction is valuable. So I appreciate it very much. And your presence is appreciated. If you're watching the repost, thank you so much for watching this video. If anybody has any questions between now and next week, feel free to send me an email, which you can find in the video description below. And on the day of the event, I'm going to be watching. I'm thinking about doing a live stream the entire day and kind of popping in and out of games as they're going on, so we can bring the community into the activity, and we'll just maybe even continue into the awards. So I think that's what I'm planning on doing at the moment, just having a live stream throughout the day. So it'll be like a 5-hour live stream. And I'll probably just play games, do gameplay with commentary, pop in and out of games as they're going, and try to keep an eye on how things are going. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be, of course, monitoring my email, and hopefully we can make sure everyone has a great time through the event.
Well, this was terrific. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for registering. And on the day of the event, break a leg. Well, actually, I can say this to you. May all your picks be keepers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you found this kickoff meeting helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, Michele, with 1 L, @MAHJLIFE.com. Between now and the invitational mini tournament next Saturday, may all your picks be keepers.